Good afternoon. It is such an honor to be here in St. Minor, down in Southwest Indiana, which is home to me. It is my life's greatest honor to serve as the 52nd Lieutenant Governor of Indiana and a partner to our Governor Eric Holcomb. Rural communities make up the heartland of our great state, and they are a constant reminder of our many rich blessings. They are the heartbeat of our growing and thriving economy. We plant crops and we raise livestock, but we also attract visitors from all over the world. And we develop technology, and we grow our unique communities and downtowns throughout rural Indiana. We're raising young people who are writing a new chapter in our Indiana history. And it's a chapter based on hard work and ingenuity coupled with technology that is making quality of life improvements in countless and many ways. You know, we are so blessed to be here in Indiana, and because of rural Indiana, Governor Holcomb and I believe that rural Indiana is our next great economic development frontier. But in order for rural Indiana to compete, we must have access to fast, affordable, reliable broadband. And under the leadership of Governor Holcomb, with the support of our partners in the General Assembly, $100 million has been committed to expanding broadband to our unserved areas. Because of the leadership of Governor Holcomb, we are here today to celebrate that new beginning for rural Indiana, because we want to ensure that rural Indiana and the Hoosiers that call it home have equal access to technology in order to create growth and improve quality of life. And so, without further ado, I want to ask you to join me in welcoming my friend, our Governor, Eric Holcomb.
Thank you, Suzanne, as always, and your whole team. I see OCRA, and I see NDOT, and so many people that came together. And as you mentioned, in a relatively short period of time, we've been talking about this for a long, long time. We wouldn't be here, as you mentioned, without the legislative leadership. I checked, Aaron. Senator Houchin, I'm sorry. I checked on the exact date. It was June 4th, where you and Steve took me out on a boat in 2016 and had held me captive for about 2 hours on Lake Patoka. And all we did is talk about lack of service, broadband internet lack of service for 2 straight hours. I did have some good dinner as well, but I think about how long we've been talking about it since before then, and all over the state of Indiana, and then to see everyone here. Randy, we spent time in your back room talking about this very same topic. Senator Messmer, wouldn't have happened without you, obviously taking charge and taking point on this bill and making sure everyone did in fact come together, and Ron and Karen and Jeff. I know the terrain in your areas as well. This is going to make a big difference in everyone's district throughout the entire state of Indiana. And so as long as we've been having this conversation, when we announced this goal back in September, we got here fairly quickly, relatively speaking, and it's going to have a profound impact on the state of Indiana and our future days ahead. You fast forward from that June 4th, 2016 boat trip to earlier in the year when I was getting around the whole state. We just were talking about mainly this terrain down here in southern Indiana, but you know, it's true in all 92 counties, no matter what county, no matter how fast the county's growing, whether it's in Hamilton County, or you know, I heard from Senator Bray, who said that kids would have to go to the Starbucks to connect, to do their homework every night, and Sharon Nagel told me that they don't have a Starbucks in Fountain County. They go to McDonald's or a Subway or the school parking lot. at night so kids can finish their work before the next morning. And so this truly does transcend any county boundary line. And so we had to have a global perspective. We had to make sure that we were taking into account, of course, rural Indiana, but also suburban Indiana and urban. And so how we pull it all together really did make all of the difference in the world. Obviously, when you think about the state of Indiana, what you mentioned the word pride. I'm pretty proud too, because of our heritage, and it traces itself, our roots, our connectivity, back to 1926 when we were rolling out the National Federal Highway Plan. And we became the crossroads of America back in the 20s, where Highway 40 was unlocked in the west, and 41 crossed one another in Vigo County. That's when we became the crossroads of America. And you think about how important interstates are. Well, internet connection is just as important, and it's certainly just as necessary if you're going to truly unlock your true potential. We have learned that about 400,000, I think that's an understatement, but about 400,000 Hoosiers live in internet darkness. And when you stop and think about what that equates to in untapped economic potential, it's been estimated that's about $12 billion that we're leaving on the table throughout the state of Indiana once we connect rural Indiana with the rest of the world. And so it truly is only fitting that Indiana found a way, creatively found a way to pull all of the stakeholders, all of the partners together around one table and say, we're all going to put some skin in this, and we're going to take it to the next level. And this is a ginormous step forward. The good news is today just marks the first round. And so while we have 11 projects, this $100 million fund that Suzanne referenced, the state of Indiana has moved forward with $22.1 million. And then the local providers, that's the other stakeholder that made this possible, having our telecommunication providers, having our utility co-ops all come forward to say we're in as well, and put $14 million into this round to take us to $36.1 million in round one. And so as important as today is that we get started working on this, this is also going to send a message out to a lot of people who didn't apply. And it's going to encourage them to apply, because you can do the math, right? If the state's only put 22 of our 100 in, we got more to go. The other interesting thing is that, and with Jody here and OCRA here, they're also going to be able to go back to the folks who need to make some edits to their application. There are some that are very close, and so some changes need to be made. So we don't want anyone deterred because they didn't make it in the first round. We want them to come back. This is going to have a profound impact on, as schools or as kids are going back to school this first week. I just read an article about West Washington up in near Salem, having telemedicine available in our schools. Obviously, telemedicine is going to be key to our future in all 92 counties. Our educational attainment pursuits, our workforce development programs, and I kind of focused on economic development, but it's more than economic development. This has got to do with our quality of life in every county in the state of Indiana. This is a good time to be a Hoosier, for sure. And this is just going to add to our competitive advantage, not just the Midwest, but in the country. Folks are looking at our infrastructure program. It is a superior program in terms of our roads, our rail access, our ports, both water and air, and now our internet connection. That is the total package when you talk about how you connect with one another, with other communities, and with the world. So it's a great day. It's a great day in Indiana. And this is, again, just yet another big step in the right direction for our state. And so it's really my honor and privilege, as well as Suzanne, to make the first award, this Next Level Connections Grant Award, to Jim Dobie, of your hometown hero, hometown boy here. And Jim's going to come up on behalf of a lot of other people that came together to address this very issue, share a few words, and he'll turn it over, and then we'll get to everyone. Congratulations for starting the show.
guys are used to it.
Oh, you're going to get a lot of calls now. They've already probably begun, haven't they?
Yeah, that's what they're over there. Thank you.
Remember that boat trip? I do. I do too. You cornered me. See, I listened to you. You cornered me. I listened. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So, Governor Holcomb, it's truly an honor having you and Lieutenant Governor Crouch here today at PSC. So a warm welcome to you both. We really appreciate this. It's pretty awesome, but I'm not going to lie. This is a pretty big deal having you both here. And you know, and how I know that it's a big deal, because when I first got to the office, my wife sent me a screenshot of our TV screen back home. And there it read, Holcomb and Crouch on in Tri-State today. Next level connection announcements, Perry Spencer Rural Telephone Cooperative. So I thought, you know what? So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to PSC in beautiful St. Minard, Indiana. I am Jim Dobie, President and CEO of PSC, and on behalf of the entire organization, we thank you for coming and celebrating Governor Holcomb's announcement on Next Level Connections. I've been asked to share a few words on behalf of today's recipients and what these Next Level grant dollars mean to us. One thing is for sure, it's a great day for Indiana, but even a greater day for those who will benefit from having a quality broadband connection in the near future. Many of us in this room take for granted the broadband connections we have. We are fortunate to reside in an area that has quality broadband. That connection has become so routine to us that it's basically a part of our lives, and we don't notice. But imagine not being able to ask Google a question in the evening, or share videos and photos with family, or to stream a Netflix show or movie. In short, without really thinking about it throughout the day, broadband has greatly increased the quality of our lives. These high-speed connections, be it used for communications, or big data, or the internet, are not meant just to be used by large businesses, our schools, our healthcare facilities. It's just as important to families, especially today when our homes have so many more devices consuming and streaming bandwidth, be it our smartphones, our smart TVs, our tablets, our desktops, our gaming consoles, even our watches. Every American, every Hoosier should have access to these broadband networks. But sadly, this is not always the case. Today, mainly in high-cost rural areas, we still have small businesses unable to adequately compete in their marketplace because of a lack of a quality high-speed connection. We have parents taking their kids to Wi-Fi hotspots in the evening just to complete homework assignments. Something as simple as families gathered in the evening, not being able to share even a funny video that they've streamed with each other. Many of us cannot enjoy these brief moments of pleasure, but yet many cannot. The other worthy recipients in this room, I am positive, have experienced this almost on a daily basis as we have. You're out in the public, maybe a restaurant, maybe a sporting event, and are approached by people asking you if there any way possible our company can deploy broadband services to their home. Their stories at times, they do move you. Some actually gather neighbors and sign petitions, trying whatever it takes to get our companies to connect them to the high-speed broadband world. This should not be. This cannot continue. I have been fortunate to participate on many committees and boards that are focused on advancing and promoting rural America, specifically rural broadband. Be it the NTCA, the nation's largest rural broadband association, or our two associations here in the state, INECA and the IBTA. Collectively, our focus has been on having every American, every Hoosier, connected to a broadband network. Back in time, our federal government coined the words universal service, that every American should have universal access to a telephone, the public telephone network, and that it should be affordable and comparable to rates in urban cities. It worked. Today, that telephone connection is now a broadband connection. Our industry has worked tirelessly toward assuring every American has access to affordable broadband services. Although we went through challenging times, I believe our hard work is paying off, for rural broadband is on everyone's radar. There is a great amount of attention and serious movement in solving the rural broadband dilemma. The FCC, both national and state administrations, have made it a priority. So much is being directed to it in Indiana that state administration created and appointed a new position, Director of Broadband Opportunities, to spearhead the state's effort. And by the way, Governor and Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Rudd is doing an exceptional job, as well as with working with OCRA. We can't say enough and share our appreciation. Our state legislators, they've been doing everything they can to aid in the deployment of broadband. Even locally, we are seeing much activity. Our local government, county commissioners, county council, town councils, all are supportive and are committed to making this happen. Local community groups have been formed, such as the Spencer County Broadband Committee and the Spencer County Catalyst Group, of which I cannot express how their hard work has truly pushed the local rural broadband agenda and are helping get things done. New and innovative partnerships involving the public and private sectors are working on solutions. Companies that are the heart of serving rural America, such as electric cooperatives and telephone cooperatives, are working together on behalf of our members. We have a great partner with us today, Southern Indiana Power, and they are part of our Next Level Awards. Together, the two of us, we hope to deploy a fiber optic network that will serve thousands of new locations. So you see, it's truly a team effort, like you mentioned, Governor, from everyone tackling rural broadband. It's that big of an issue. Now, all that sounds great, doesn't it? But in the end, it comes down to funding to make this all possible. Because of the incredible expense deploying broadband networks to high-cost rural areas that are sparse in population, even with the great teamwork I just mentioned, nothing would be done if there weren't dollars to support these initiatives. And Governor Holcomb and Lieutenant Governor Crouch, that's really why this is a big deal. It's because of the initiative that you all have taken in establishing this historical broadband fund that companies like PSC will be able to answer your directive in assuring all Hoosiers someday will have access to a quality broadband network. I can assure you our employees will not let you down. So, as we gather today, congratulations should not go out to those of us being awarded Next Level Connection dollars. Applaud us for what we will do with those dollars, but save your congratulations for those who will truly benefit, that being the unserved rural Hoosier resident. This day is for them. Governor Holcomb, Lieutenant Governor Crouch, thank you for making that possible. Thank you. This time, I'd like to invite Dan Sherry, the Superintendent of North Spencer School Corporation, for his remarks. Thank you all.
So, I'm Dan Sherry, Superintendent of North Spencer Schools. For those of you that have children, you know this time of the year is really hectic. So, I take that time about 5 in a central office before school starts. So we start next Wednesday. So I got a call Tuesday from Darren Brown of PSC here saying, there's going to be an occasion at our building. Would you be able to come? And I thought, well, yeah, I can come to that. That's great. I'll be here. I would like to stand back there with you guys. And then Tuesday I got a call from Sam saying, okay, now we need you to say a few things. And now it got real. So then they said, is there any way you can bring a couple students maybe that this could have an effect on in case somebody wanted to talk to them? So I thought, okay, I need to think of, I have a senior in high school, so I thought, okay, let me think of Simon's friends that are not sitting around on the internet the last week before school starts. So we have Miranda and Abby and Tyler and Reese, who I knew because of our rural location, they would not be sitting around on the internet today. But someday maybe those houses will. Obviously not maybe, they will. So thank you for this opportunity. As you might be aware, North Spencer's high school's name is Heritage Hills. We take a lot of pride in our heritage, and so I think I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the people that were at North Spencer before I was. Al Logston is here somewhere. Al was the principal at Heritage Hills High School in 2002. Called me, I was at a neighboring school, and said, you need to come down here and apply for this job. I'm very grateful that he did, but more grateful for the foundation that was laid for us to get here. So thank you, Alan, and all those that were here before me. North Spencer Schools are thrilled about the announcement. Because of the rural nature of our area, our students do not receive equitable broadband resources in comparison to more centrally populated areas. We are currently a one-to-one with technology devices from kindergarten through grade 12. However, the district-wide broadband service severely limits those students living outside of a very centralized area when it comes to fully utilizing these school-issued devices. Without universal access to broadband services, students can't participate in educational opportunities from home, including class discussions, research, and interactions with their classmates. Students and parents are also left out regarding portals that contain daily information such as lunch menus and balances, parent meetings, student group and club meetings, daily bulletin announcements, e-newsletters, Harmony Student Data System, digital learning platforms, and online transactions and school registration that other students have an opportunity to participate in. North Spencer's teachers utilize a blended learning approach, which requires students to have internet access. Students are at a disadvantage when expected to learn, study, and work using technology at home. Our educators remain sensitive to the needs of these students who cannot access the internet and must accommodate for those students in their daily lessons. Many students are forced to utilize our school's Wi-Fi both before and after school in order to complete homework and studies, and often remain in the school libraries long after school has been dismissed. The current lack of internet access hinders students in applying for scholarships, applying for secondary plans, registering for standardized tests like the ACT and the SAT, classes, and interviews from home. Students must find locations with internet access to do any of this online work. Historically, 6 through 19-year-olds are not great at planning ahead, so these issues can become a bit unsettling in the homes. Progressive instruction relies on internet access. North Spencer staff and students continue to be creative in overcoming the obstacles in teaching and learning in today's technology world. The challenges are becoming greater as each month goes by. Today's announcement will have a great impact on North Spencer's ability to remain as a top achiever in preparing our students for whatever lies ahead. Thank you, Governor and Lieutenant Governor.
Now moving on to the Ed McMahon portion of the day. All right. Can we have, and if the legislators, if this is in your district, you want to join us. We have the folks from New Lisbon. Anyone here from? No? Okay. 259 Douglas. Okay. Miles. Yes.
It just shows you the status of those.
Lutel Communication.
Oh, sure.
Washington County.
It's got to happen, though. It's time for it to happen.
Yeah.
Did you move? I've heard a lot about it. I heard a lot about your disability.
You're right.
Mom. Smithville.
You're in the middle. You can hear on the inside. Not
Here,
I'll be
The chairs here then.
All right, let's get Jim back up. His legislator.
Hey, Jim. You want to
Come up with your legislator.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a big group.
Good.
Where's Steve at? Steve Simon?
Let's just do each hand first.
He said it all if you want to go front. Well, they want to do the legislators first, but Jim will be second.
Now, if you have a larger group that you want in your individual pictures, we can come up at this time. So, Jim, anybody?
Yeah.
Steve's over here, Jim.
Board, Wood, Tim, and then Steve Seibert. Is the board rep?
You want to send anyone?
But you can't see me.
All right.
Are there any other companies that have a larger group they'd like their picture with? And then, after we conclude the individual pictures, we'll do a large group picture with everybody.